In the distant echoes of ancient prophecy, four riders emerge from the shadows, cloaked in mystery and carrying the weight of destruction. But who are these horsemen? Four riders, each more terrifying than the last. They come, not in peace, but as harbingers of a fate the world cannot escape. Each rider carries with them a power so great it could plunge the world into chaos. What awaits us when the final seal is broken? Today, we will unravel the mystery of the Four Horsemen and discover the terrifying truths hidden within the book of Revelation. To truly understand the Four Horsemen, we must first turn to the final book of the Bible, the book of Revelation. This text is both a vision and a prophecy, a warning of things to come. John's revelation is filled with vivid imagery, beasts rising from the sea, trumpets sounding the end of days, and angels delivering divine judgment. The riders represent God's judgment upon the earth, sent to deliver devastation in the final days of mankind. But what do these riders symbolize? The Four Horsemen are not just random figures. Each represents a specific calamity sent to shake the world. Their arrival marks the beginning of a period of intense suffering and judgment, a precursor to the ultimate end. Let's begin with the first rider, the rider on the white horse. The first seal is broken, and with it comes the first of the Four Horsemen. Riding upon a white horse, this figure is both captivating and unsettling. John's vision in the book of Revelation describes him as holding a bow, a weapon of conquest, of dominance from a distance. He wears a crown, a symbol of authority, of victory. But this victory is not one of peace. Many have wondered, who is this rider? Some see him as a symbol of Christ, spreading his gospel across the earth, victorious and pure. Others, however, believe this rider is a deceiver, a false prophet, a force of deception that will lead the world astray before the true judgment begins. This rider brings something far more complex than mere victory. He brings the illusion of peace, the promise of power. But at what cost? Some interpretations suggest this first rider is none other than the Antichrist, the beginning of a great deception that will lead the world into turmoil. Under the guise of conquest, he seeks to control, but this is only the beginning. The second seal is broken, and now the earth trembles. Riding upon a fiery red horse, the second rider approaches. There is nothing subtle about this figure. He carries with him a blade so great it could sever the very foundations of peace. John's vision in the book of Revelation tells us that this rider was given the power to ignite conflict and war wherever he rides. He does not bring diplomacy, only destruction. This rider does not create the conflict, but he fans its flames. With every step, he intensifies the divisions that already lie within the hearts of men, unlocking a violence that was waiting to be unleashed. Wherever the red horse rides, the world follows into chaos, and so begins the endless cycle of war. He is the personification of rage, destruction, and the fragility of human peace. From the shadows, another rider emerges. He is unlike the others. His presence doesn't bring the sound of battle or the roar of conflict, but something far more chilling: scarcity. Riding upon a black horse, the third rider appears. In his hand, he carries not a sword, but a pair of scales. These scales are the symbol of trade, of balance. But in his grip, they weigh something else: hunger, imbalance, inequality. John's vision in the book of Revelation tells us this rider speaks of a world in which the price of food becomes unbearable. His words tell of famine, of starvation, but also of something more, a warning of growing disparity between the rich and the poor. This rider brings more than famine. He brings injustice, imbalance. He is a symbol of greed, of the growing divide between those who have and those who have not. With every step, the black horseman deepens the world's suffering. He doesn't bring conflict or death, but a slower, more insidious ruin. The scales continue to tip. The darkness spreads. The final seal is broken. The last rider emerges. Unlike the others, this rider carries no weapon, no scales, for his very presence is enough to send the world into despair. Riding upon a pale horse, this final rider brings with him only one thing: death. His name is Death, and hell follows close behind him. He comes not alone, but as the harbinger of plague, destruction, and the end of all things. Wherever this pale rider treads, life ceases, pestilence spreads, the land turns barren, and with him he brings the power to kill, a quarter of the world's population by sword, famine, plague, and the beasts of the earth. As the final rider, he is the most feared of all, for there is no escape from his touch, no resistance to his presence. He does not choose who will die. He simply arrives, and all must fall before him. The Four Horsemen have ridden, and with them they bring the end of days. They embody the forces that have plagued humanity throughout history: the hunger for power, the violence of war, the despair of poverty, the inevitability of death. But we are not powerless. Each of us has a role to play in changing the course of history. The story is not over. The future is still being written, and you are part of it.